Breaking news, 6 people are dead after a school bus and MTA bus collided. Let's get right to Mike Shue, who's been live on the scene along Frederick Avenue in southwest Baltimore. Mike.
Well, good morning, Lynn. Good morning, everyone. A couple of things here. The police commissioner has just arrived and is headed down to the scene to get briefed on what has happened here. His public information person, who has seen a lot in his career, came back out briefly and would not yet speak about what he's seen, but he said it is the worst scene that he has ever seen in his career as a police officer. And that is really saying something because TJ has been around. You see right now there are 2 buses. One had collided with the other, and it appears that the school bus has opened the side of the MTA bus like a can opener almost all the way to that back window. I can tell you that this time in the morning those buses are usually crowded. As you know, 6 people have died. We have reports from sources at Shock Trauma that they were preparing to receive 11 patients there, and Shock Trauma of course gets the most seriously injured patients.
Right now, joining us on the phone is Matthew Feldman, who was actually there when the accident happened, and he joins us to tell us what he saw. Matthew?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I came up on the scene, and it basically, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you. Let's go to Ron Matz live at Shock Trauma, where they're expecting multiple people. Ron.
Good morning once again, Lynn. Eyewitness News first on the scene here at Shock Trauma. We can tell you that the folks here at Shock Trauma have told us they have received multiple patients from this horrific bus accident in southwest Baltimore. They are assessing those patients, of course, here at the R. Adams Cali Shock Trauma Center at the University of Maryland. We've had no word on conditions as yet. As soon as we do, we will get back to you.
Breaking news from overnight. A 2-alarm fire guts a 3-story home in northeast Baltimore, sending 4 people to the hospital, including 3 children. Officials say 6 more children could still be trapped inside. WJZ and Mike Shue are live on Springwood Avenue, which is still a very active scene. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, everyone. There was a pall here at the scene because 6 children are missing, 6 children who never made it out of this house, and considering how bad this fire was, 6 children who probably perished.
Maryland underwater. Flash flooding strikes the area. Severe thunderstorms roll through tonight. A flash flood warning is in place for central Maryland and will remain until 4 a.m. Take a look at some of the flooding sent by WJZ viewers. This right here from Woodstock, Maryland has turned into a river, that road right there. And you can see people are trying to get their cars unstuck. And complete coverage continues. George Solis is live in Ellicott City with more on this flash flooding. George.
Good evening, Marcus. Right now, some of the water has started to recede, but hours ago here on Main Street, water flooded these streets. Courtney Wetland sharing this dramatic video of water so high in Ellicott City, one man had to be carried to safety. Take a look behind me. You can see that some of these cars actually washed onto others, and if that isn't bad enough, take a look down here. You can see a car actually into this channel, and even worse still, this car completely totaled.
Right now we have on the phone County Executive Alan Kettleman. And Alan, what can you tell us about what's going on right now?
Quite a bit of property damage with vehicles and buildings, but fortunately no serious injuries.
The Orioles are still waiting to hear the punishment for Manny Machado after a bench-clearing brawl at the yard, and a fellow player says he will personally pay any fine Machado gets. Machado also faces possible suspension after charging the mound, a move that sent both teams running onto the field. Rick Ritter has reaction from Machado, Buck Showalter, and fans.
Nightmare on wheels. A hit and run in Fells Point leaves a woman in serious condition. The shocking video and more on the suspect charged.
The horrifying scene of a woman being run over by a van is caught on tape. This all happening in front of a crowd of people in Fells Point early this morning. WJZ is live in Fells Point. Amy Incy with more on what led to the incident. Amy.
Following breaking news this morning out of Montgomery County, a deadly crash involving 3 high school students. Officials say the overnight crash happened after 11:30 p.m. in Damascus on Burt Hill Road. The pickup carrying 3 teenagers ages 17 and 18 struck a tree head on.
Mass murder in Orlando. A gunman opens fire in a gay nightclub. Dozens are dead, and the death toll is expected to rise. Complete coverage of the deadliest mass shooting in modern-day U.S. history.
Massacre in Orlando. A gunman opened fire on a crowd of people inside a gay nightclub. 50 people are confirmed dead and 53 are injured. It's so hard to comprehend this senseless act of violence. It's the deadliest massive shooting in modern day U.S. history. Who is the gunman and why did he do it? WJZ is live from Orlando with Craig Boswell. Craig, what can you tell us?
From our vantage point, we can see investigators bringing bags out of the nightclub, placing them into vans, driving them to the medical examiner's office.
It's just after midnight and flames are erupting from this home in the 4200 block of Springwood Avenue. By the time crews get to the scene, the blazes reach 2 alarms. Neighbors watch in horror as the roof collapsed and fire consumed this home. Huge clouds of smoke could be seen for miles. Firefighters are able to rescue 4 people from this burning building, a woman and 3 children, all of them taken to nearby hospitals. Fire crews have worked through the night to see if anyone else was inside, a task they say will not be easy.
It's going to be a very labor-intense situation until we can actually get some additional equipment to remove some of the debris and be able to get inside.
These 11-hour filings revolve around Donta Allen, the second man who was placed inside the police transport van after prosecutors say Gray was severely injured. I was the first to speak with Allen about what he heard. He told investigators that Gray was thrashing around inside the van, but later publicly recanted that statement. Donta Allen's attorneys contacted Goodson's attorneys last week, saying that the state had concealed the meeting that they had with Allen over a year ago. But prosecutors dismissed the meeting with Allen, saying it produced no evidence because Allen was consistent with his inconsistence. Goodson's trial will begin after this hearing. Experts say it will all boil down to whether the judge believes Officer Goodson chose to ignore Gray's injuries and did not care if he lived or died.
The state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of all these charges, and that's not easy to do.
The most serious charge against Goodson is second-degree depraved heart murder.
It's simply a form of murder where the state has to prove that a defendant acted with an extreme indifference to human life.
Goodson was the only one of the 6 never to give a statement to police. The likelihood of whether or not he will testify depends upon the strength of the prosecution.
Did Officer Goodson know that Freddie Gray needed emergency medical assistance? And 2, was his failure to provide that emergency medical help the cause of Freddie Gray's death?
Millions of Marylanders hit the road for the holidays.
Here in Maryland, we're expecting 2.2 million Marylanders will be traveling. The vast majority, both nationally and here in Maryland, will be driving, about 91%.
That means just under 2 million Marylanders are expected to be out on the roads. 5% are expected to fly, and the other 4% will take other modes of transportation. This heavy travel season comes as Marylanders see a major surge at the pump. According to AAA, gas prices have soared to an average of $2.29. That's 12 cents more than it was just 1 month ago. High gas prices and congested highways causing headaches for many travelers this holiday weekend, and officials are urging people to be prepared.
We want motorists to pack their patience. Travelers in general, pack your patience.
And that patience will be needed not just on the roads, but also at the airports. Long lines at the security gates are expected at BWI and airports across the country.
Check TSA's website, check your airline's website, see what the restrictions are, what you can take, what you can't take, how you need to package those gifts to take with you.
And with 2 major holidays falling on a weekend this year, officials say today will be the busiest day to hit the road.
Most kids are out of school, most parents are either off work or offices are closing early, so we know that there will be lots of traffic probably this Friday ahead of Christmas.
And nationally, more than 103 million people will be traveling for the holidays. 90% of them will be out on the roads.